4 days, morning till night. No food besides potato chips and Mountain Dew. Guys, I've become one with the game. Oh my goodness. So this is something that many of us have been waiting 2 years for. 2 years in the making, picking up this game, which I uploaded on the YouTube. It was a surreal experience. Actually playing the game is a surreal experience. I know many of you guys know that I got the collector's edition. Before I even get into the good, bad, and ugly, let's just go over the presentation real quick. From the box, now I got the God of War collector's edition, the Mason edition, and presentation, it needs some work. But when it comes to the statue, they were talking about, yo, don't open the statue, it's a spoiler. Like, that statue isn't a spoiler. I took them for the word, because when I got the box, the statue's on top. I was like, oh, I can't look at it. Where's the game? I finally beat the game. I go to look at the statue. I'm like, bruh, I don't know who that statue is supposed to be a spoiler for. Maybe, I don't know, maybe for aliens, if they come here like a Spider-Man, what is Spider-Man? Like maybe for those. Maybe if you've never heard of Spider-Man, surely not for anyone who's a fan of Spider-Man who's been following this game up until day one. It's not a spoiler. So I digress. So let's get into this, guys. When it comes to the story is essentially Spider-Man 2, but on steroids. And it's not a bad thing. If you like Spider-Man 2, it's superb. Even if they even hit certain beats with the game that are awfully similar to Spider-Man 2. This game is essentially it's a love story to Spider-Man fans. I'm surprised. I'm not gonna lie. I honestly thought, I was like, yo, did they jump the shark with this story? Because I was like, yo, they did a lot. I mean, if you think about it, they got Sinister Six. I mean, with that ending, with the ending after that ending, there's a lot that they were allowed to do. There's a lot of leeway they were given. And I was shocked. Man, the story got me. I'm not going to lie. It's very familiar to me. Because I know Spider-Man, I know these characters. I like the character designs with all of them. But once you finish a game, it's just like, ugh. There's a moment in time in the game, and this isn't a spoiler, so don't worry, but there's a moment in time in the game where you're web swinging and you're homeless. Like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay, wait, hold up. Like, as I was like saving this person from the car or stopping a car or something, I was like, wait, hold up. I don't have a place to sleep at night. Like, man, that's why I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is real. Like, Tony Stark is going through problems with PTSD and alcoholism and all that. Like, Spider-Man, he doesn't even have the money to get drunk. Like, he can't even drink away his problems because he doesn't have the money. You're like, yo, I help a brother out. But the true hero of this story is gotta be the dialogue. This dialogue is some of the best dialogue I've ever had. There is a moment in the game where Mary Jane does some crazy stuff. She's wilding out in one of the parts in the game. And Spider-Man's like, yo, what are you blaming me for? Do you not know what you just did? Like, what? And Mary Jane's like, I can't believe this. And it's just like, yo, I felt like I've had these conversations before with like a girlfriend or an ex. It's just like, and there's a moment in his apartment. It's a great moment. But I don't think it's a spoiler, but he leaves his clothes on the ground. She's like, you just gonna leave the clothes on the ground? And he's just like, and he backsteps. It's just,
Did you just leave your clothes on the kitchen floor?
The dialogue between the two, it's good. It's like you can see an actual person saying this. It's not like contrived or forced or any of that. It's just like, yo, this is awesome. I think that's more important than the story, because you can have a great story and the dialogue is piss poor. Like, man, that doesn't sound like his character, or like, and then on top of that, guys, this is what I'm talking about. I know you guys want to talk about nitpicky, but this is the type of nitpicky that's good. Yuri Lowenthal had to record this twice. And all the dialogue, because I'm thinking about it, because I was playing the game, I was walking, and he's talking to Aunt May, his normal voice and everything. And I jump up and start swinging. And then I hear like strain on his voice. He's like, yeah, man, I'll make it there in just a minute. I'm just like, hold up. Like, what? It sounds like he's, like he's web swinging, like he's like going through like physical activity while he's speaking, as opposed to when he was walking. And I come to find out that's exactly what it was. I was just like, that right there, that level of detail, mwah. So enough about the story. Let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly, the reason why you came here. So let's start off with the good. So starting off, let's get into the main reason why any of us even buy a Spider-Man game, and that's for the web swinging primarily. And the web swinging in this, I gotta be honest with you, I still like the realistic physics in Spider-Man 2 on the PS2, but in this game, overall, this is it, man. This is honestly the pinnacle of web swinging. I mean, there is even an option, guys. There's even an option to remove like the lock on Spider-Man while you're web swinging, because they know people. You want to see him from all angles while you're web swinging. It's just like, guys, this web swinging and the speed. I was worried about it. I was like, I don't know how fast you're gonna be able to go. Guys, I'm hauling butt. I'm going from web zipping to perch to flipping. The speed is awesome. And that was one concern I had. I was like, yeah, it's good, but the animations are a little repetitive. I mean, in the final build, this is truth, guys. This is it. Like I said, the nitpicky, it's the small stuff that really makes a great impact. Like, it's the small stuff that's like, wow. It's that 80-20 rule. And when you start web swinging, the music comes on, and I kid you not, it was about, I want to say about 5 in the morning. I've been playing all from the previous day, all day. It was 5 in the morning. I said, I need to get some sleep. And, I'm about to turn it off. And then the music, because the music was on, like, it goes high and then it dips, and it was on a low. And I was just like, okay, I gotta stop. And then it came back. It was like, dun, 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 dun. I was like, I'm Spider-Man. And I was, I kid you not, I ended up playing for an hour or so, just swinging around. Whoever decided that, it reminds me of like in the Lego games when you get like, I don't know, Superman or something, and his music comes on, the theme song. And you're flying around. It's like that, but not Legos. It is so important that theme song was amazing. Because if this theme song was garbage or boo-boo, that would have made swinging painful. This music is phenomenal, guys. I even listened to it in the gym. I'm just like, dun, 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 dun. And I'm going to do an animation review of the game on my animation channel, my twin brother Lucas's animation channel. Be sure to check that out. But this is it. Next up, we got combat. And I'm going to be honest with you. I never thought I'd say this, but the combat in this game, especially about a Spider-Man game, who would have thunk? The combat is phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. I was listening to the reviews, and some people were saying, it gets a bit repetitive and boring. If you think this combat is repetitive or boring or anything negative about this combat, you're doing it wrong, pimpin'. I don't know what else to tell you, but you clearly aren't as skilled in the combat as you think you are. The depth to this combat is deeper than the Grand Canyon. Like, this combat completely destroys Arkham. Like, to go from this combat and back to Arkham, I feel cheated, honestly. I can't do that anymore. Because in this combat, you can go from, like, oh my goodness. There are so many options in this combat. Like, especially when you include the gadgets, I'm just like, it just flows. And the great thing is that there are so many options, but each option flows into the other option. So there's like this big, like, spider web of options that flow into other. You can go, punch someone, punch them up, and then punch them down, and then web them. And it was just like, you can web someone, like spin them to another person, while someone's trying to hit you, while you're punching another guy, spin under them, kick that person to that guy, punch that guy up, do a finisher up, then do a finisher down. Guys, this combat, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Like, I was like, in the beginning, I'm not gonna lie with you. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. In the beginning, because I chose it on Spectacular, like, I was getting my butt served. like I was getting that work. because I kept going, because, you're coming from, Arkham. I'm trying to, like, there's a person all the way over there, and I'm hitting X. I'm expecting to jump over there and go to X, and, like, he wasn't doing that. he was punching ghosts. I'm like, oh, shoot, I have to, web zip and then go over there. It takes some time for you getting used to it, and there's, like, so many combos and so many, like, things you can tie in and use this and use that in the environment, and there's so much to do that I don't even think I've scratched the surface, because there was 2 gadgets I didn't even use in the combat that I'm now seeing where they can be tied into. Like, you can go from use a little trip mine to the web bomb, and then the air concussion. And I'm just like, I'm looking, it's like I'm Neo and I'm seeing the code. I'm just like, these are all my options. What do I do? How do there's so many ways I can kick your butt. Another thing on the good list, and that is going to be the puzzles. No, not the puzzles themselves. No. It's the fact that you can skip the puzzles. Oh my goodness. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, these puzzles were kicking my butt. I was scratching my head. It was like, because if you go on spectacular, like the hardest level of difficulty, and you're doing the puzzle, like, it gets to a point in time where I was like, yo, I don't know how to do this, and the little button pops up, is like, would you like to skip? Like, the game saw I was struggling. And I was just like, yo, you have to match the charge. I was like, match the charge? Like, that's 3, that's 2. I'm not playing this to do math. Like, let me do a fight and swing. And I know many of you guys enjoy the puzzles. More power to you. For me, I was like, skip. Another thing I have to add to the good list is that even after you beat the game, there is a lot of stuff to do. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I was doing the backpacks, the missions and all of that as I was playing the game, because I wanted the main storyline to last as long as I could. But even after I beat the game, there was still stuff to do. I achieved 100%, and I'm still, I still have a few things that I need to wrap up. Now, as far as length of the game, I'm not really sure, because I started on Thursday night, and I didn't beat the game until Saturday. Like, I didn't get 100% until Saturday. I want to say late evening. And then I played it again on Sunday without doing any side missions, any side quests, and I beat it roughly, I want to say, on about 15, 20 plus hours. So there's a lot of content. There's a lot of stuff to do in this game, and it's a very long story, which I'm thankful for. All right, guys, we've gotten over the good, we've gotten over the story, we've gotten over the presentation of Spider-Man PS4, aka Marvel Spider-Man. It is now time for us to get into the bad. When it comes to the bad of Spider-Man PS4, the first thing right off the bat is the towers, and it's not the towers, to see more of the map. I don't have a problem with that. I kind of like that. It makes sense. But what irritated me was the little mini game. The mini game is directly just a rip from the Arkham series, where you have to line it up and the waves and all that. I was just like, why? Why do that? There's no need to do that. The next bad is going to be MJ. Like, the stealth gameplay is boring. Like, there's no reason really to even have it in there. I get that they wanted to do something new of having MJ in there, but there's nothing new. There's nothing special. There's no depth to the gameplay. It's just knock over a box. Oh, this guy's alerted. Let's go straight. It's extremely linear. Now, however, there is one stealth game. That got me. Like, I was really scared. For those of you who actually beaten the game, you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, I was like, oh God, I'm gonna die. That was the only one. Everyone else, it was like, I wish there was a way to skip it, because it didn't do anything to the story. And many times you were going back in time to play as MJ. I was like, I don't want to go back 30 minutes before what happened. I want to go back 15 minutes before what happened. I want to go forward in the game. So that was, I didn't like that. I wish they could either revise it or completely edit it out. The next thing on the bad list is that many of the bosses are extremely repetitive. And what I mean by that is that it's, web, and then punch, web, and then punch, or, web, throw, and then punch. Oddly enough, the one boss that has like levels to his complexity is going to be Shocker. Like, in the demo, you know how you're punching him, web him up, and then he gets free. web him up again, and then he gets free, and then you have to do L1 and make the things come down on him. Like, that level, I was expecting that type of, boss design in all of the bosses. Sadly, that wasn't the case. It's very much repetitive in many of the boss fights. So it blew my mind. I don't know, maybe it's someone at Insomniac really loves Shocker, because that boss fight was I think, had more. I'm not going to say it was the greatest boss fight in the game. Absolutely not. There were levels to that boss fight, that Shocker fight, that I wish showed up in many other boss fights. Now, that's not to say that it wasn't fun. It's just to say that it was a little repetitive, and I would like them to, switch it up from time to time. So moving forward onto the bad list, you guys know I'm going to bring this up, and it's going to be the costumes. And I know what you're saying. Oh, you're just saying that because the Raimi suit isn't there. No, I'm not saying it at all. And actually, this sentiment was actually repeated by Greg Miller himself, who wasn't a big fan of the costume selection. And you have to be honest, the costume selection isn't really there. Like, I've only used maybe 2 costumes out of all the costumes, and that's going to be the Scarlet Spider Homecoming suit, the original, and then, the Insomniac suit. All the rest of the costumes are just, they do nothing for me. I feel like there's many costumes in there that just didn't need to be in the game. Like, they could replace that costume for another one. For example, I guess this is kind of spoilery, but it's been out there, the Ghost Spider. Like, I've never once swung around as the Ghost Spider. Like, what reason would I have to swing around as the Ghost Spider? Maybe at nighttime to see, like, his head, like, on flames and stuff like that. But that's like, okay, yeah, that's trivial. I'll do it one time and then that's it. It's just a waste of a slot. And there's other costumes like that. For example, the Fear costume. It's an ugly design. Like, I'm never going to be swinging around in that costume, like, ever. And lastly on the bad list, that is going to be Silver Sable. What is so painful to me is that everyone in the game is 3-dimensional. Like, there's reasons why these people had their motivations. Like, there's backstory to them. Aunt May, Mary Jane, whether it's Spider-Man or Peter Parker, Norman Osborn, everyone in this game, like, there's a story. You get it. You understand them completely. When it comes to Silver Sable, like, all you get from her is just, that's it. That's all you know about Silver Sable. This Silver Sable in this game. And it's just like, there's a point in time where she's like completely cucked Spider-Man. I'm just like, what? Like, there's no way that would happen. I'm sorry, Silver Sable. Like, you're cool and all, but you don't have any superpowers. Like, Spider-Man, you're not going to get the one-up on Spider-Man without having some type of plan or something behind it. It's not going to happen. I didn't like that. Where she's just big and bad and domineering over Spider-Man. And Spider-Man's just like, okay, you need to calm down. Please be nicer. So I was like, come on, my guy. All right, guys, we've covered the good. We've covered the bad. Now, surprisingly, there is ugly, and we're going to cover the ugly next. When it comes to the ugly of Spider-Man PS4, one thing I have to say is that this game is sadly buggy as hell. I mean, there is one instance, actually multiple instances, where the characters just went into T-poses. For this next clip, for those of you who haven't beat the game, I suggest you skip it. I'll put probably a time code in the description of where you can skip to next. But this next clip is a spoiler, but it also shows like a serious bug in the game. Now, I don't know about you guys, but to have that in a AAA game is unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable to have that happen while I'm playing the game. Next thing on the ugly list is that wall crawling. Like, when it comes to the wall crawling, there were certain moments where I couldn't wall crawl. Like how does that happen? Now I get that, very rarely you're going to be wall crawling at all because, the big selling point of this is traversal and moving throughout the city. But to screw up wall crawling in a Spider-Man game, unacceptable. The next ugly on the list, and that is all I'm going to say, is pigeons. Didn't need to be in there. just no. No. And lastly on this ugly list, and that is going to be no new game plus. So that was one thing I was expecting, the day one update, the day one patch, and it's sad to say it's not there. We don't know when that's going to be coming. It's said to say that it's going to be happening before the DLC, hopefully, but we just don't know when. So all in all, guys, was it worth the wait? Absolutely, it was worth the wait. Absolutely, it was worth every single video I watched, every single video I did. I'm excited for what they have, moving on, the sequel to this game. Hopefully, 2 years, because I know with Batman, it was like they released in 2011, and then the next one was 2013, and the next one was 15. So, I mean, you would think that because they've done this game, they got the workflow down. Like, they understand, okay, this is what we can fix, this is what we can tweak based off of their them doing this first one. So I would think it would be easier, a more smoother process doing the sequel to this game. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think, whether or not you enjoyed the game and thought it was spectacular, amazing, or if you have to just like, it's meh. Either or. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing. I'm Spider-Man.